So yeah, Karen Campus training today. Thanks everyone for being here. Right now, the Caring Campus Committee is a small but mighty committee, and we'd love for some new members if you're interested. Of course, we're also just hosting this so people can get trained. So no pressure, but if you're interested at the end of this training, feel free to let us know, and I'll also have the link to submit an interest form if you're wanting to do that and able to do that. So here's a little bit about what we're going to do today. We're going to do some introductions. I know I haven't introduced myself properly yet, so I'll get into that. We're going to talk about what Caring Campus is and why it matters. And then we're going to get into what, I would call the meat and potatoes of the training, which is the 5 behavioral commitments. That's what we're all here today to learn about. And then how we can implement those into our daily work here at SMC. And then we're going to, reflect on the training a little bit. So to start, my name's Hannah. I work at the Epicenter, and I'm a member of the Caring Campus Committee at this time. Yeah, I'm an administrative assistant, although I feel my role goes far beyond that title in the work I do. And I've been at SMC for about 3 years. And we already went through the reflection question. So if you're interested in still sharing about that, if you didn't get a chance to yet, feel free. And at the end of your turn, if you could just popcorn it to someone. So I'll go ahead and popcorn to Sandra.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sandra Franco. I am a student services specialist in the Welcome Center / Outreach and Recruitment Community Academic Relations. Who knows who we are today? I'm glad to be here, though, and I will popcorn it to Carla.
Wait, you have to say how long you've been here, because that's a
big... 28 years. Too long. I'm ready to retire.
Hi, I'm Carla Brown. I'm the media resources assistant here at Malibu. And how long I've been here? Well, I have been a permanent for 3 years, but HR tells me I started back in 2000, so as a temp. So I've been here a little bit, and I'm a proud alumni as well. Class of 95. Woohoo! And now popcorn it to Kirsten Elliott.
Thank you, Carla. So I'm Kirsten Elliott. I'm the Dean of Community and Academic Relations in the Office of Student and Community Outreach. There we go, Sandra. I'm still getting the titles worked out. New role, combining offices, combining the amazing things that we do to support students and to support enrollment. I've been part of Caring Campus from the wee early inception days. I'm just grateful to be here because I feel like it's naturally in alignment with what I do and what I wanted all of my teams to do. So I am so grateful for the folks who have been, I'm gonna cry, championing this for a long time because it's exactly what we need. Just remembering our humanity and how we show up every day impacts not only the students, but our colleagues, and just being kind. And those basic things go a really long way. So I'm glad to see so many folks here. I'm sorry for the tears. I probably would have cried on a normal day too, but I just have big love for this place and big love for our students. And this wonderful group gives us kind of the structure to do what we naturally do. So this will be a very good love tribe if you want to join us. So I also put that out there. Please join us. All right, I will hand it over to Abigail.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Kirsten. I'm Abigail Orris. I'm the Professional Development Coordinator, and I work in the Epicenter / HR. I've been at SMC for, I think, seven years. Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, I was not here since the inception of Caring Campus, but I heard about it and I was like, what is that? I want to be a part of that. And oh yeah, Kirsten's been here 21 years. Yeah, so I'm just grateful to be here and to do this work and to get to know you all. And I want to thank Hannah for creating such a nice space for us this morning. It's really nice to come together. So thank you. And I will popcorn it to Anna.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ana Velasquez. I work at Student Health Services in the Health Center. My role is a student health and education assistant. I've been a permanent employee for almost 3 years, but I started a couple years prior to that as a temp during COVID. Um, and yeah, that's it. And pretty much I just want to say that I really love to love our SMC students and our campus employees. Everyone's always been so nice to me, and I've loved it, and I've grown to love it every day even more. That's all. And I'll popcorn over it to, let's see, who else do we have on here?
Maybe Layla?
Sure. Hi, Layla. Let's do that.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Leila Arenas. I work for the Center for Wellness and Wellbeing. My role is a student services assistant. I've been at SMC for quite some time. I started as a temp in 2010 and as a full-time employee 2014. So it's been a while. I really learned to love this community, this college, the students, and I'm very grateful to be here and to learn more and to continue helping our students and our community, um, especially during these difficult times that we are going through here in our community college and in the country in general. Yeah. Popcorn to Dagmar.
I think she's on the call. Can you popcorn it to someone else?
Popcorn to Cat.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm sick right now, but I'm going to do my best. My name is Kat Alvey. I am an English faculty member. I have been here for, this is my 4th year of tenure. So like I'm all done with tenure. Hooray. And yeah, I've been very excited to get more involved on campus and making friends. And hi, Abigail. I saw what you wrote in the chat, and I really like the notion of like, caring as the norm. And I'm really looking forward to this presentation. I'm gonna popcorn someone, but I'm not sure everyone who has gone yet. Erin, have you gone yet?
I have not.
Popcorn Erin.
So my name is Erin. I came in late to this because my Zoom decided to update once I figured out how to get in. My department is the police department. My role is the admin assistant, and I've been at SMC for 12 years. I was thinking about the time someone showed me unexpected compassion, and I think one of the things that it strikes me is when I feel like I'm just doing kind of my normal work and I reach out to someone and then they're just so like overcome with gratitude and then they share that gratitude and I'm like, this is just like what I do, but then they're really thankful and they feel like somebody cares. So showing the gratitude is that unexpected compassion. I also do not know who has gone because again I came in about 10 minutes late. Is there anybody who hasn't gone that I should popcorn to that it wants to volunteer?
I think Sergio and Mary Jo have
Okay,
not gone
I will popcorn
either.
to Sergio.
Hello, Aaron. Thank you for that. Let me turn this on. I normally don't. So, hello, everyone. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Hannah. Hello, everyone. I'm Sergio. I am a campus safety officer out here at the Malibu campus. Work literally right next to Carla. I just see how involved she is with the students and how much she cares, and she's been a great inspiration to me in that regards. And I mean, part of my job as a campus safety officer is to serve and to care. So I think this is the right community for me, and just here to get some more information and hopefully be a part of it all. So thank you. I've been here for only like 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure at this point. I believe it's 4, but I might be wrong on that. And just super grateful to be a part of SMC.
Thank you. I think we're still waiting to hear from Yannette and Mary Jo and Mark.
Mary Jo, you came off mute. Do you want to go next?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
My name is Mary Jo. I'm in the English department. I teach usually C1000. And my house and car burned down in the January 7th Palisades fire. And I cannot tell you how many people have showed compassion. If I had to make a list, you'd have to wait a whole day. The Santa Monica Foundation, the American Legion, the just from all various places, the Red Cross, and people, of course, along the way. So just pretend I've written a long essay because everybody's been very compassionate. So that's me. I guess I should say that's I.
And how long have you been here, Mary Jo, at the campus?
Oh, I've probably been here longer than you've been alive. I've I've been here a long time, about 30 years.
Thanks, Mary Jo. Does Yannette, we want to go?
I'll go next. Thank you. Thank you, Hannah and Abigail, and all the trailblazers from inception to present, keeping this going. I'm Yannette Martin. I use she, her, ella pronouns. I'm the Dean of Equity, Pathways, and Inclusion, and I've been at SMC for a year and 5 months. Popcorn and Mark.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Tomasic. I'm the chair of the dance department, and I've been at SMC for 14 years. And Mary Jo, I'm so sorry about your home and your car.
Well, thank you. I'm recovering.
And I don't know if there's anybody left.
I think that's everyone. Thanks for everyone for sharing. Yeah, and I appreciate the little bits that everyone shared. Thank you, Layla and Mary Jo, for reminding us, or not that we need a reminder, but for acknowledging the fact that it's been a tough time, in LA, at SMC in LA, and nationwide, worldwide. And I think Kirsten hit it right on the head, that how important it is for us to remember our humanity and show compassion for one another. This training today is it's focused on how we can make this a great place for students, but I think the energy that these behavioral commitments carry, we're hoping that you can carry with you in your daily work and life as you interact with your colleagues and also folks in your life. So thank you everyone for sharing. We'll keep it pushing. If I could get a few responses, or if you want to just take a second to reflect on this. When you imagine a caring campus, before we get into what the training says that means, like what do you imagine when you hear caring campus? What comes to mind? And feel free to unmute or raise your hand if you'd like to share.
Hi, it's Kat. When I think of a caring campus, I think of knowing people's names and faces, rather than like, oh, hey, you should go over to the counseling department. Instead saying, oh, you should see Tiffany in counseling, and like letting students know that they are real people there, ready to help them, rather than just like a kind of scary like building or department, and not knowing that there's gonna be a warm, welcoming face on the other side of that.
Thank you, Kat. That's great. We're going to get into some of that actually soon. Would anyone else like to share?
Yeah, if I can. Something I think about is just like a warm environment is probably the best way I would explain it. People smiling and just kind of having that openness and that, warm welcome feeling. Especially once again, once we deal with all the students and whatnot, we want to kind of make them feel as welcome as possible. And especially for the ones that are coming from either out of state or out of the country. We've had a couple of them out here at Malibu, and they're really appreciative when we kind of extend that extra hand or go that kind of extra mile in essence.
Awesome. Thank you, Sergio. Anyone else want to share? I think we'll take one more and then we can keep moving forward.
I will say that a caring campus in my mind would be a place where the students could feel welcome, they could feel safe, they can feel free and being who they are, um, without any judgments. Um, that's what I think.
Thank you so much, Layla. Yeah, that's actually great. I think that these the commitments that come with Caring Campus, which we'll discuss, kind of focus on student support. And I think that is another aspect, maybe that this doesn't hit quite on the nose, but yeah, making students feel free to express and be themselves. I think that's a really important note. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay. So what is Caring Campus as, as defined by this training? Is there a window? I'm kind of moving the Zoom window around. Can you guys see that, or are you able to see the full screen?
Yes.
Everything looks good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for confirming. So what is Caring Campus? This is an initiative created by the Institute for Evidence-Based Change. And I included the QR code and a link if you're interested in looking up more about that organization who helped bring this initiative to SMC. And the initiative is an intentional effort to foster student belonging and connectedness. And the goals of the initiative are to engage all campus employees in student success, improve connection between campus employees, create a behavior change that drives culture change, and to examine, maybe for the first time, or re-examine some barriers to student success. And SMC isn't the only one who has implemented the Caring Campus initiative, although, I think, tooting my own horn here, I think we've been doing a pretty good job on the committee so far. But yeah, it's at over 130 colleges across the nation. So that's really exciting to see. So just a little bit more about the initiative. It brings a human component, back to the humanity that Kirsten mentioned. It brings a human component to all college initiatives, programs, and procedures. And it really puts emphasis on every single interaction. And we want those interactions to be relational. So if, there's some classified folks here I see who were part of our classified professional equity certification. So you might remember moving from transactional to relational, but a transactional relationship is kind of what it sounds like, like you need this, I'll give it to you. What are you giving me? Versus relating to a person and really understanding where they're coming from and working to bring them to an understanding of, oh, sorry about that. Bring them to an understanding of why you're telling them what you are telling them. Sorry, just a second. So here's a little bit about why it matters. So we have two books here that engage in some research. So I'll go ahead and read the quotes. The first one from Vincent Dinto, the secret of effective retention lies not in the types of programs institutions construct for their students, but in the underlying commitment to students that inspires these programs. And then we have a quote from Relationship Rich Education. Decades of research demonstrate that peer-to-peer, student, faculty, and student-staff relationships are the foundation of learning. Belonging and achieving in college effects are particularly strong for students of color and first-gen students. So these are just a couple examples of why those relationships matter, not just the programming that we have at our college, which is also important and excellent. And of course, a focus, we're an educational institution, but we want to make sure we're having genuine, warm relationships with one another. So just to go back to the highlights, retention is driven by commitment to students, not just our programs. And these relationships are foundational to the learning happening. And these effects are strong for students of color and first generation students. Sorry, guys, my bad. I'm trying to pull you guys up because I like to see your smiling faces. I accidentally exited out of that, and I don't know how to bring it back up without hiding my screen, but that's okay. I'll just move forward. Okay, so these are our 5 commitments. They're pretty straightforward, but we're going to go through each one of them just so that way you all for sure know exactly what it is you need to do. So our first is our 10-foot rule. So if you see a student or anyone within 10 feet of you, of course, we're not counting exactly 10 feet, but if you see someone in the area who's close by, who might look like they're lost or they're looking for something, give them a smile, say hello, introduce yourself maybe, and offer them assistance, ask if they need something. And they might not need something in that moment. Maybe they do have it taken care of, or they're interested in figuring it out themselves. Well, that's great. You now have signaled to that student or that person that people on the campus do care, that they're getting where they need to be, or that their answers are being their questions are being answered or their needs are being met. So yeah, we're just asking that you make that effort. Next, we have the use of name tags. I don't have my name tag on right now. I'm working from home today, but usually I'm wearing my name tag for events in the epicenter or out on campus. But yeah, using our name tags, wear them every day. And if you're online, introduce yourself with your name and where you work, like we did at the top of this training, to increase that awareness. And, to be real, like there's a lot of us on campus. We might not remember each other's names all the time. So it helps us remember one another and, greet each other by our names. And then in addition, it helps the students know, it signals to the students, okay, this person works here. I can ask them for support. I can ask them a question and they probably can send me to the right place. Next, we have cross-departmental awareness. So cross-departmental awareness is knowing what's going on in other parts of campus, or knowing what other offices are doing, knowing who works there. It was mentioned when we were doing introductions, or when we did the question, what do you imagine a caring campus is? It was mentioned that, sending someone to a human on the other side. And so, yeah, that's part of this cross-departmental awareness, knowing the basic functions and FAQs of other departments. And then also those departments or campus-wide having updated directories so we can reference, because we're not always going to know every person at every department. But if we have good directories, updated websites, that can be helpful for finding those folks who will have the solutions for whatever the student is facing, or whatever it is they're asking. And then we have warm referrals, which kind of goes along with cross-departmental awareness. It's recommended to personally walk students to an office if possible. You know, some folks have positions where they have to stay at their desk, and that's fine. And if that's the case, you know, you can give that office a call and let them know the name of the student, what's going on, and when the student plans to arrive, just so that way someone can be there expecting the student, you know, and it's not like, oh, you sent a student to an office and then no one's there. We're trying to avoid that. We want again, for that student to know there's someone ready to support them waiting at that office. And then, yeah, following up with the student to make sure that they got there, you know, shooting the student an email later maybe, or giving them a call if that feels appropriate, and saying, hey, you know, did you get the support you need? Do you have any more questions? How else can I help you? And then the last one I have here, which seems pretty straightforward, but you know, it's worth emphasizing that we want to welcome students to our campus. You know, having a welcoming, warm environment was also mentioned when we were doing our imagining of a caring campus. So specifically, during the first week, you know, we have our info tables, and you know, could have people in parking lots, making sure people are getting to the place where they need to go. For those of us in roles where we're personally in touch with students, you know, to contact them after they've enrolled, see if they have questions, and connect them to services as needed. And then also to that follow-up, because those first 2 weeks, you know, can be scary, especially for first week students, or excuse me, first year students. But even students who, you know, are returning, the first couple weeks are still fresh. New classes, they might be in buildings or on campuses that they've never been in before. So it is really important that we have those touch points. And, you know, I know Kirsten's office does a great job of trying to make those touch points with, of course, our new student orientation, and then SMC startup. And then in addition, further into the semester, we have the midterm motivation. And, you know, quick plug, I'm sure Kirsten would always love to have more volunteers for that. So if you're interested in that, you know, look out for those emails, or reach out to Kirsten personally. Okay, so these are some scenarios. So I just want to go back and, you know, show this. It's pretty straightforward, you know, but I think that, you know, they're worth highlighting. They're like bite-sized things that we can all do to keep this campus a warm and welcoming environment for students. So we'll go ahead and get into some scenarios. So I think I have 3 scenarios here. Let's see, let me check on time. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. It's 11:40. So I'm gonna read a scenario, and then I'm gonna send you all into breakout rooms and to discuss with a partner, with a couple people. Looks like we have 14 people. And then we'll come back together and do a little bit of a share out. So our first scenario. An international student arrives at SSC on Friday at 1 p.m. seeking to speak with the admissions office about the paperwork she needs to complete her enrollment, but finds that the office is closed. She and her mom shared that they drove an hour and a half to get here, and they were told that they could be helped on this date and time. Luckily, the student and parent were able to find a student service specialist from a different office who was able to scan her paperwork to be uploaded to her application. What could have been done differently to improve the student's experience? And I think if you want to do a screen grab or maybe take a picture before I send you into breakout rooms, just so you have the scenario. But I will go ahead and send you all into breakout rooms. Okay, thanks everyone for coming back. I hope you had some fruitful discussion. Does anyone want to share what their group had come up with for this?
Yeah.
I'm happy to chime in.
Sure.
I think one observation that we noted was that I think on a bright spot, yes, something could have been done differently, but on a bright spot, there was someone who was cross-trained to know how to support the student. So I think that is a model that we can certainly adopt in many other areas. And I know it's certainly a practice we had at a previous organization. In terms of how we could improve this experience for the student, if in fact the student was just providing documentation, could that have been uploaded through some kind of protected software so that the student didn't have to do the hour-and-a-half drive? I understand in some cases that can't be done because there's, sensitive information. But wherever possible, I think using technology tools would be a great way to support the student and the parent in this case. And then the other piece is making sure, and this came up in the group, making sure that if there is cross-training in various departments and staffing reductions mean that an office needs to be closed at 1, that there might be a centralized place for that particular day. And that it is advertised somehow on the website, making sure that's definitely up to date, because that's really where a lot of people, I mean, maybe I'm old school, but that's where I go to before I go somewhere. I go and I find out, is that location even open today? For whatever reasons, I mean, anything can happen. But again, that cross-training piece is key. And leveraging resources when there ever are some reductions, because maybe not all offices are going to be open on a Friday after 1.
Nice. Thank you, Yannette. I appreciate you noting that, we this is an example of some cross-departmental awareness here, and then that the end of this experience ended up being a positive experience for the student because they were still helped. And so that's always a good thing. But of course, yeah, the improvements you mentioned, I think, go back to the Caring Campus main initiative or the main goal, or one of them was to re-examine some of these barriers. So I think that kind of goes along with what you said. So thank you. Can we get maybe one more share out from a different group?
Sure thing. So I was in group 3 with Sandra and Erin, and something that was brought up by Sandra was actually kind of having that network beforehand, to be able to reach out and just kind of shoot them a quick Teams or a call or whatever have you, and just be like, hey, you have someone here waiting, maybe they're in the restroom or they forgot and they're just taking a quick break. So like, I don't have that much time here. I don't really have that network or that connection. But like Sandra said, I'm kind of putting myself in the rooms to create those connections. And I don't know, I mean, I guess I could probably just jump on an email or something and just send people who I think it might be. I don't really know. I guess this is just how to create those networks. Anyways, that's what was shared, and I think that was really powerful.
Thanks, Sergio. Yeah. If I don't know if you've accessed the campus directory before, but we do have a directory and you can search by department. Of course, we're working on getting that updated all the way, because sometimes people's positions aren't updated there, but that can be a great way to try to figure out who works in a department if you're not familiar. Yeah, but thanks for sharing that. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next scenario. Thanks, guys. So scenario 2, it's the second week of class. A first-year student who was enrolled late is walking around campus and having trouble finding their class in Drescher. We all love Drescher, the beautiful maze that Drescher is. They asked an older person for assistance, hoping that person was a campus employee, but the person turned out to also be a student, also headed to class, but at HSS. The older student says, I've never had a class in Drescher, but I'm pretty sure that's the building, and points towards Drescher Hall. The law student enters Drescher and after some searching, eventually finds their classroom. The student was late to class. And again, if you want to, take a screenshot of this or maybe snap a picture with your phone so you have it, I'm going to go ahead and move you all into breakout rooms. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Thanks for chatting. Very quickly, I just wanted to, Kirsten pointed out something to me. I just wanted to let you know, Sergio, that and for everyone on this chat, if you're not already a part of it, there's a Caring Campus chat. That's not necessarily for folks who are on the committee, but just for anyone on campus who wants to write and ask questions. It's been a great resource for folks who are like, hey, this student needs X, Y, and Z. Can anyone help them? And it's kind of been a more like instant, semi-instant way to get in touch with people around campus who might have the answers to things that we wouldn't expect to. So we can be sure to get everyone in this group added to that chat if they're not already.
Is that the one on Teams?
It is not the one on Teams. Yeah. Okay, would anyone, I think we'll just do one share since we're getting close to the end of time. So would anyone like to share what their group came up with?
So yes, I think I'm on the Caring Campus chat already. Are there multiple Caring Campus chats?
Well, there's one, yeah. So I would just say, like, if you ever have a question for a department that you're uncertain about, that you can also drop it in there, and that would be
Got
enough
it. Okay.
to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So for this scenario, I think you had kind of shared earlier in regards to just that first week is absolutely vital in regards to the student's experience. And then for the first 2 weeks, we should just kind of like have a stronger presence and just kind of like be more mindful of the new students. So maybe having like someone posted kind of, at the entrance of the buildings or out in the quad or whatever have you, just kind of like out in the hallways, maybe just kind of walking around and just kind of being a little more observant of people that are experiencing that kind of lost behavior, like maybe looking at their paper, kind of like gazing around, looking for numbers and things like that, and just kind of approaching them and, in a warm way and letting them know like we're here for them. As CSOs, we're kind of trained to do that already. But in case if they didn't encounter a CSO, then yeah, for anybody, I guess just kind of reaching out to them and pointing them, orienting them.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Pew in contact and, was very helpful with navigation. Of course, too, I just want to say like clear signage. I know Drescher Hall is confusing for a lot of folks, and it would be helpful if we had some more clear signage there. So maybe that's something we can hopefully implement. And I know, Kirsten, you have those awesome signs that somehow students still don't read. You worked very hard on those A-frame signs, but yeah, the more signage, the better, So yeah, I think signage is always helpful. And then we'll just move on to scenario 3. We're not going to do breakout rooms because we're about at time, but I do just want to give this a read through and, let you guys think about how the students' experience could have improved. So scenario 3, it's the midterm of the fall semester and a student is crying outside of HSS because he failed a midterm exam. Feeling hopeless, he tells his friend he's considering dropping out. His friend recommends that he visit the tutoring center for support. The student goes to the tutoring center, but when he arrives, he feels nervous and decides to turn around and leave. The tutor notices him leaving the building. So do we have any like quick initial responses of maybe how this student's experience could have been improved? Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
I think just starting with the instructor. So like, does the instructor have built in to their kind of ethos or culture? Like if you're struggling, I want you to come and talk to me about it. Or once they hand the exams back, like if this score isn't exactly what you wanted it to be, there was ways that we can help you. So just partly just proactiveness by the instructor regarding exams and scores and things like that.
Thanks for that insight, Mark. And we can see you now. So that's great.
I know it was, yeah, I'm a dummy.
Oh, great to see. Tech can be difficult sometimes. Okay, thanks. Yeah, oh, Kirsten, go ahead.
The only other thing I would add is having a kind person at the tutoring center to greet them, pull them in. Hey, come on in. Oh, don't turn around, and friendly signage. The more we can normalize help-seeking behavior, that's really hard for a lot of people. So the more we can build it in that asking for help is what you do when you come to the college, that we are here to help you and asking for it is totally normal. So those are just a few more things I'd add.
Thank you, Kirsten. Yeah, I think, for me, as a person who's ready to ask for help often, because I need it, that's not as easy as it might, that's not as easy for some folks. So I think that's an important thing to remember. And that kind of goes with that 10-foot rule of, seeing someone who looks like they might need help and they're not going to come to you. There's a possibility they might not come to you. So always good to ask a student, say hello and ask a student if they need help. And I know we're at 12:01. I just asked for a few more minutes of your time. I apologize for going over, but we're right at the end here. So yeah, implementation, of the 5 commitments, we think it would be great if you could commit to one action this semester, low pressure, just like choosing one thing. Okay, I'm going to wear my name tag every day. I'm going to be more invested in learning about this one department that my friend works at that I don't actually know that much about. Or, if you come across a student that needs help, I'm going to make that warm referral. I'm going to walk that student over. Or just, checking in with the student that you know is here, whether it's their first semester or last, just checking in and having that support. So yeah, that's what we're asking. So think in your mind, like what is it that I'm wanting to do this semester. So there's some options there. And then I also want to offer these faculty commitments. So IEBC also offers these additional commitments for faculty to use in the classroom. I didn't go over them in great detail today, but again, they're pretty straightforward like the other 5 commitments. So these would be in addition to the 5 behavioral commitments that are sort of campus wide. And I know we have some faculty in the room, so feel free to, take a screenshot of this. I'll also be sending out these slides to you all so you all can reference this material. But it's kind of that the similar goals of making students feel welcome, making them feel heard, and that those small interactions are very meaningful. So I'm gonna go ahead and click forward. And I know we're at the end, but if a few people wanna just give any takeaways they have from today's training.
Yeah, so it's just as a new person, it's just really cool to see that this community already exists. And that, like it's already there and strong. Uh, it's vital. It's absolutely vital in our success as a college. I did have one question, if you don't mind, Hannah. What do we do for cross-department awareness? Because I feel like that's kind of a for me, it's kind of has seemed like a delicate subject with some people in regards to like union and kind of like overstepping and things of that nature. So let's say like if I try to help somebody out here, it not kind of like a student services person not saying like I'm doing their job for them per se, right? Which I'm not. It's just kind of like having that general understanding. So is there like a training or a database or something like that?
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. So, first I would say like, referring to the directory to find out who works where, mostly updated. We're working on getting that completely updated. I think that's a great place to just like learn about names to departments. Also, like a great place to just learn more about departments is Coffee Connections. So we host a Coffee Connections every month. We feature 2 departments. Actually, at the next one in this month in February, we're featuring the police department, SMC Campus Police, as well as supplemental instruction. So we encourage you, it's going to be the police department. So there's a possibility you might already be around, and I know you're at the Malibu campus, so maybe that might not be as accessible to you, but it's also offered on Zoom, so you could come and learn about the departments there. And I would just say, like, as far as folks' attitudes about stepping on toes, I would say, like, we're here for the students first. You know, we are, and like, as long as your intentions are good and your intentions are to help the student and you're not telling them information that you're uncertain about, I would say, and I say uncertain about as in like, oh, well, I think this is the answer. You know, I think being like, okay, I know the answer to this, or if not, sending them to an department that does. And, you know, hopefully as part of this Caring Campus initiative, we can all welcome each other's help and connecting to one another. So for cross-departmental awareness too, I would just say, like, if you meet someone in a department that's not your own, you know, asking a little bit more about the work they do and you know, what might be a case where it would be good to reference them to send a student their way, would be a good question to ask.
Got it. So it's called Coffee Connection, and it's done once a month, and you kind of feature a department on there.
Yeah.
All right, never heard of it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you can join on Zoom. We send out bulletins. You'll see a bulletin for one very soon. So
Okay, perfect. I'll join. Thank you.
yeah. Anyone else want to share or have a burning question?
And check our website out.
Yes, and check out the Caring Campus website. The coffee connections are there.
I was just going to say, I know a few people have had to step away, but it's just really nice to see some new faces in these spaces. And, you know, there's never a better time than right now to just, you know, do this, and it impacts students and it impacts faculty and staff and managers. We all need these kinds of connections. So thanks everybody for being here, and just, yeah, we can be a momentum, you know, bring some new momentum.
Thanks, Abigail. Anna, I saw you unmuted.
I did. I just wanted to say to Sergio that I feel that what you said, Hannah, that we shouldn't feel like we're stepping on anybody's toes. We're all here to help each other and be grateful and thankful that we are able to help each other. And I just want to say, I feel like we all matter, no matter how small the gesture is that we do to a student. It probably is really a big impact on them. They probably are really grateful for whatever little thing we can help with. That's all.
Yes, thank you, Anna. Thank you for sharing that. So, like we plugged at the beginning of the training, you know, we're hoping that if you're here, it might mean that you're interested in being part of the committee, getting more involved. And if not, that's okay too. But just know that this is always open. It's always an option for you to come and join us. We can always use the helping hands on the Caring Campus Committee. So if you have some questions about what that commitment looks like, I'm not going to go through the exact commitments right now, but you can reach out to me or Abigail, Carla, Kirsten, or Aaron, and we can let you know more about what that looks like, or you can just shoot a message to Caring Campus at smc.edu, and we can answer those questions. But that's the end of our training.